Here's my impression of the postal guy from Postal 2. Hi there, would you like to sign my petition? You ever stop to think about what the person who made this candy bar, or any candy bar in general, wanted you to feel when you ate it? They started with one person with an idea, with a sensation, with a feeling that he wanted to express to you and give to you. Now whether what that feeling is, it varies from bar to bar, but at the end of the day, the intention was always the same. This creation that they put into the world was for you to feel something, hopefully something positive. When it comes to art, you gotta think about what art truly is. And if you break it down to its breakest of breakest, art is an expression of self, or just an expression. You can look at all sorts of mass-produced bars that are made by billion-dollar companies, and you can look at bars made by smaller ones, like this one right here, and it would all be pretty much the exact same thing. How can there be good art or bad art? If it's somebody expressing themselves, how can anyone say, oh, the way you're expressing yourself is valid and the way that you're expressing yourself is not valid? It doesn't really make a whole lot of sense. And so when you're thinking about a candy bar or any sort of creation made by somebody like a small little old grandma and her son in a kitchen gobbling this up and saying, oh, I bet the people will love this, how can you really say that's invalid? The Dylan bar, real chocolate, real ingredients, real homemade. I mean, this thing right here looks like it was made by a very small group of people who just wanted to put something out there that was good. I like to break away from the mainstream stuff every now and again, because you kind of get lost in that, right? You kind of get lost in the marketing and the PR and the hype and all this other nonsense out there. This bar right here, you've never heard of this bar. You don't know anything about it. I don't know anything about it because it's made
artisanally.
Right? It's made from the underground. And that's a lot more appealing than something that's, plastered across every billboard in the country. Pure milk chocolate, sea salted peanuts. It sounds pretty fantastic and the art on the front is even better. I got hopes, but at the same time, I'm not actually going to be too disappointed if it's bad. Because remember, what they wanted to do was put something positive into the world. And whether it is or it isn't the point. It's what they wanted. Let's see if they actually succeed. Crack this bad boy in half. You see that right there? You see it? You see all the little imperfections, the scars, the little things that would get picked up in a bigger factory and thrown away and then repackaged, but instead they're all kept right here. And it's those little imperfections that somehow make this even more perfect. They're not fingerprints, look. Trust me, they're not fingerprints. They're actual things left in the chocolate themselves, like scuffs and nicks and marks and all this other stuff that I think adds a lot of charm to it. It's gonna make me sound like such a pretentious
dickhead.
This stuff sucks, but no, man, like I said, there's so much love and attention and care put into something like this that you just don't get from the mainstream bars. And for all I know, this could be something made by an amateur chocolate guy that has no idea what they're doing and makes something that's really awful. That's a possibility, but if I was gonna make a chocolate bar, it'd probably be something like this. Scarred, broken, you get a hell of a lot of peanuts. I mean, they pack this thing to the brim. Every bite that you're gonna have of this thing, you're gonna have some nuts going on. Some crunchy ones too. You can smell those peanuts quite distinctly. The chocolate itself sells more dark chocolate than anything else. Perhaps this might be a mix of sorts, but it doesn't smell like any milk chocolate I've ever smelled. It doesn't have that sort of near sickly sweet smell to it. It's a lot lighter and a lot more complicated. Let's go ahead and have a chomp. It's nice to be remembered. It's nice to know that after you cast off this mortal shell and give way to that physical coil, that somebody out there in the world will finally remember you and think about the good times that you had together, or perhaps that maybe it gave them something to think about.
Today's the first day of the end of your lives.
This does not do that. In fact, there's really nothing all that memorable about this. It's probably one of the most generic bars you can get. One of those run-of-the-mill chocolate bars that you would get one of those charity functions when you were a kid. Handing them out for like $2 a bar. It's like, oh, it's for a basketball team. I swear the basketball team doesn't exist. It's kind of like that. Yeah, it's got real chocolate. And yeah, it's got real ingredients. That much was never up for debate. But the soul is not there. The amount of character that I was expecting this thing to have, the embodiment of their person, their soul, their, likes, dislikes, little quirks and all that stuff, I'm not getting that whatsoever here. It tastes, oh man, I mean, the worst thing I could say, it tastes like every other bar out there. And, God, it kind of sucks when I think about it that somebody probably worked hard on this. Some grandma slaved over the stove to make this and said, oh, I really hope that what I make can sort of make someone's day brighter. And it's not making it worse, for what it's worth. It's not making my day worse. I'll probably finish this. But I don't know, I was expecting so much more from this. And what I got was an experience that I could get anywhere else. But still, that earnest effort is there. That genuine desire to try to make the world a better place in the smallest way possible. And that's got to count for something. Right?
When I finish the chapter, I feel my life comes back again.
Okay, I guess that sounds pretty good.
Thanks.